Oh, Jorge Martin crashing during the Sepang MotoGP test must have caused quite a stir. I wonder what Marc Marquez had to say about it. His insights are always insightful. Did he think it was just a racing incident, or was there more to it? Let's discuss. Watch until the end. Reigning MotoGP world champion Jorge Martin has endured a torrid start to the 2025 pre-season after suffering two high-side crashes within the opening hours of testing at the Sepang International Circuit. The Aprilia rider, making his much-anticipated debut with the Italian manufacturer following his title-winning campaign, was caught out twice at Turn 1, an unforgiving left-hander that has claimed many victims over the years. Martin's first crash, while unsettling, was not enough to put him out of action. The Spaniard was able to remount and make his way back to the paddock via the service road, suggesting he had escaped unscathed. However, his fortunes took a dramatic turn for the worse just moments later. Attempting to piece together a competitive run, Martin successfully navigated Turn 1 on his next outing, but then lost control of the rear end while transitioning to the left for Turn 2. The result was a brutal high side that saw him flung violently into the air, landing with force on his feet before crashing down face first onto the tarmac. The severity of the incident prompted an immediate red flag stoppage, with medical staff rushing to his aid. Initially taken to the circuit's medical center, Martin was later transferred by ambulance to the Aurelius Hospital in Nilai, just a few kilometers from the track, for further assessment. Early reports from Aprilia confirmed that Martin was experiencing pain in his left leg and right hand. Given the impact of the crash, it remains highly unlikely that he will be able to return to the track for the remainder of the first day's running, with the full extent of his injuries yet to be determined. His participation in the remainder of the Sepang test now hangs in the balance, pending the results of medical scans. An official statement from Aprilia read, "Jorge Martin has been taken to the Circuit Medical Center after his crash at Turn 2. He will undergo further medical checks. We will provide updates as soon as official information is available." Adding to Aprilia's woes, Martin's second fall came just as he was beginning to settle into his run plan, having completed only 13 laps and sitting 21st on the timesheets. The incident occurred as he started what would have been the first flying lap of his third stint. Just as Aprilia were digesting the shock of their lead rider's accident, their satellite team, Trackhouse Racing, was dealt another significant blow. Shortly after 1 in the afternoon, the team confirmed that Raul Fernandez had suffered a fractured metacarpal bone in his left hand following an early session crash. Further compounding his misfortune, Fernandez also sustained a fractured toe in what appeared to be a low-speed accident on an outlap. However, it is his hand injury that is of greatest concern, with Trackhouse now assessing potential treatment options. Frustratingly for the Spaniard, this marks the second consecutive year that he has suffered a major injury at Sepang on the opening day of testing. In 2024, he was forced to withdraw from the remainder of the test after sustaining serious hip and pelvic injuries in a heavy fall. Meanwhile, Fernandez's rookie teammate, Ogura, had a lucky escape after a fast crash at Turn 1, but was able to walk away unharmed. The Japanese rider ended the morning session as the fastest Aprilia representative, albeit only in 18th place, just ahead of Martin's factory teammate Marco Bezzecchi. Elsewhere in the paddock, VR46 Ducati's Fabio Di Giannantonio was unhurt following his tumble at Turn 5 earlier in the session, while highly rated Red Bull KTM newcomer Pedro Acosta was also reported to have crashed during the morning running. With pre-season testing often setting the tone for the season ahead, Aprilia will now be anxiously awaiting news on Martin's condition, as they hope their marquee signing can return to action before the tests conclude. Marc Marquez, who was rumoured to be taking the #1 spot from Jorge Martin and arrived late to the Sepang test, has responded to the incident. He also addressed comments about his reputation for frequent crashes, drawing on his years of experience. "I know all too well what it feels like to be thrown off the bike at high speed. No rider ever wants to experience that, especially so early in testing when we're all trying to understand the limits of new machinery. Testing is an essential part of preparing for the season, but nothing is more important than a rider's health. I truly hope the scans reveal no serious injuries and that Jorge can recover quickly and return to doing what he does best." Aprilia's machine has shown great promise, but with that potential comes inherent risks. I'm sure the technical team will analyze every detail of the crash to understand what happened and how they can prevent it from occurring again. This is a sport where we are constantly pushing the boundaries, but safety should always be at the forefront. Crashes like this are reminders of just how fine the margins are in MotoGP and how quickly things can change when riding at the absolute limit. Jorge is a tough competitor, and I have no doubt that he will come back stronger. He has proven time and time again that he can overcome adversity. However, this is also a moment for everyone in the paddock to take stock and learn from what happened. Every year we improve in terms of technology, safety gear and medical protocols. But we must keep striving to make this sport safer without losing its essence. I also want to take a moment to acknowledge the incredible work of the medical team and trackside staff who responded so quickly to Jorge's crash. Their efforts are invaluable, and without them, situations like this could be much worse. My thoughts are with Jorge and his family during his recovery, and I hope to see him back on track as soon as possible. MotoGP is a sport built on resilience, and I know Jorge will be eager to return. For now, though, his health must be the priority, and I hope this is just a small setback in what I'm sure will be another exciting season. Martin's crash is a brutal reminder of just how unforgiving MotoGP can be. One moment you're pushing for the limit, the next you're flying through the air. Switching to a new bike was never going to be easy, but this is a nightmare start for the reigning champ. The big question now, will this shake his confidence, or will we see classic Jorge Martin brushing it off and coming back even stronger? And then there's Marc Marquez, always one to keep things interesting. He knows better than anyone what it's like to get tossed off a bike at high speed, and his take on the situation is definitely worth a listen. But is this the voice of a wiser, more cautious Marquez? Or is he just playing it cool before reminding everyone why he's one of the most fearless riders on the grid? With the season just around the corner, all eyes are on Martin's recovery and whether Aprilia can get their beast of a bike under control. One thing's for sure, this is only the start of what's shaping up to be a wild season. Do you think Martin can shake this off, or is this a sign of trouble ahead? Let's hear your thoughts. Hey MotoGP fans, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest action.